Hey Shlomo, can you call the assistant cupcake coordinator into my office after the show, please? Well, because these sprinkles aren't equally distributed. No, I don't think I'm being ridiculous, Shlomo. You know, Alex Trebek doesn't have this problem on Jeopardy, and his show has a theme song. And now my show has a theme song. So I don't think it's too much to ask if my cupcake sprinkles equally distributed. No, I'm not a prima donna. How much time? Shalom. Eliyokim Cohen, Jews News Briefs. June 6, 2011, the 4th day of Sivan on the Hebrew calendar. Live from Jews' World Headquarters. Our new theme song, courtesy of David Dome. This show's like on a whole new level. Our last few days we've gotten over 1,000 hits on YouTube. I can almost guarantee you it's from our new theme song. You know, we're like a big, happy family here at Jews News Briefs. Everyone's treated equally and with respect, and we have a very robust staff. All we try and do is bring you the best news. So I'd like to thank everybody out there, especially the Hatikva page and the Russian Jews page on Facebook, for posting this link every single day. We're really growing. If everybody helps out, just click share. All you have to do is just click share on your page. Even if you don't like the show, whatever. Let's at least, you know, help make me an internet sensation. That's all I want. I want a big audience because I'm so sick and tired of the world not having truth. All right, our sponsor today is HebrewPodcast.com, an unbelievable Hebrew learning site, the best site out there for the money. So check them out. Grains of Sand, Shifra Shomron. I have an unbelievable quote to read today. The person in this is talking about the left in this country. How can they hate us so? Don't they realize that it is all of us, the Jewish nation, against the Arab enemy? But no. Instead they release murderers and send their poisonous barbs at us. What a stupid people. And yet they are dangerous too. She shuddered slightly. Pretty much every quote in this book is phenomenal. You have to go out and get this book, and you'll see how low and how evil Jews can stoop to when they want something. The left in this country is the most insane and corrupt and despicable group of people on earth. They pretty much ruin everything they touch. They're like the opposite of the Midas touch. Alright, so let's jump right into today in Jewish history, and this is an unbelievable one. In the year 1242, this is in Paris, 24 wagon loads of Talmudic volumes and 200 other rabbinic manuscripts were burned. 1242 in Paris. Not much has changed. You heard on yesterday's show what's happening in San Francisco. They have a new comic out, Foreskin Man. Don't Jews see? I mean, just the pattern of Jewish history is so clear-cut. No matter what country we're in, God says in the Torah, we will never have any rest. Don't we see that by now? We've been thrown out forcefully in every single country. America's next. Please wake up. The Jewish quote of the day is fantastic. It's from the Chafetz Chaim, who's probably the biggest rabbi of the last few hundred years. He says, with Amunah, which means faith, meaning faith in God, there are no questions. Without it, there are no answers. Meaning, if you think this world just exploded from a dot, first of all, you're an idiot. And second of all, the world will never make sense to you because some evil, wicked people live seemingly perfect lives, and some very moral, intelligent, hardworking people struggle and suffer. So if you think that we just came from monkeys, which is the stupidest thing on earth, by the way, the world will never make sense to you. Moving on to our Torah tidbit, it says in this week's Parsha, the 7 lamps. What is that referring to? The hidden meaning of this corresponds to the 7 celestial bodies that we can see with our eyes. It's the Sun, the Moon, Venus, Mercury, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn. An unbelievable part of today's Parsha. And I want to let everybody know that Tuesday night to Wednesday in Israel is going to be Shavuot, so we won't have a show. And outside of Israel, Wednesday and Thursday is also Chag, is punishment. So we're not going to have a show that day too. I'm actually going to probably go hit golf balls that day. So we will have a show tomorrow. But I want to let everyone know that Shavuot is coming up. It's the day that we receive the Torah on Mount Sinai. It's a very, very holy day. So please learn about it now. It's very, very special. All right, the top story of the day. You probably heard a lot of this yesterday. Well, Israel actually aimed at people instead of just firing randomly in the air and, using squirt guns and water balloons. Syria, again, had their people charge their border. I found out this morning, that they actually paid people $1,000 to try and charge their border. I don't know if, $1,000 might not seem like a lot to you. Well, in this economy, maybe it is. But $1,000 in Syria, which is, pretty much like living in hell, could probably buy you a mansion in Syria. So when these people have $1,000 waved in front of them, it's like having $1 billion waved in front of you and me. So Israel told them over loudspeakers in Arabic, "Do not approach our borders, we will kill you." Didn't stop a lot of them. Some of them, stayed put or turned back. A lot of them just kept charging towards the borders. So Israel, as usual, fired warning shots in the air, fired warning shots on the ground, fired warning shots sideways, then shot at their lower extremities. Then actually, when it didn't stop them, they actually had to kill some of these people. So Syria is saying it's in the 20s. Israel won't confirm it. As usual, Israel stopped shooting to let the Red Cross, which by the way hates Israel, come and remove some of the wounded. This was an absolutely absurd scenario because this is 100% the fault of Syria. Yet, for some reason, the left in this country wants to blame Israel for using excessive force and not showing enough restraint. Lebanon canceled the infiltration of the border because Israel told them, "We're going to kill your people. This is going to be 100% your fault. Don't do this." Syria did get that memo, apparently. So, a lot of people died. And you know what? I don't care. I couldn't care less. Because idiots that want to charge a border, when you're told over and over again on loudspeakers in your own language, "Please don't charge our border. We don't want to kill you, but we will." Can't have any sympathy or any rachmanut for them. That's just stupidity. But actually what bothers me the most is not that Syria pays their people to try and charge in. It's the American response to this. You all know my feelings on the American government. I detest them. I always have. America says that they're deeply troubled at the killings on the Israel-Syria border, and guess what they urged? If you haven't watched the show before, you're not going to get it, but if you have watched, they urged restraint. Why is Israel always being urged to use restraint? No matter what. No matter how many people try and come kill us, no matter how many dictators say that they want to nuke Israel, why are we always, the Jewish people in the Jewish homeland, always urged to use restraint? Doesn't that bother you out there? You see anything wrong with that? Does anyone urge America to use restraint when they've just bombed, over and over again in Pakistan? Is anyone urging NATO to use restraint in Libya when they're just, bombing people? They're actually bombing the people they're trying to help in mistakes on their guided missiles. Why is Israel always being urged by everybody? Every single group, nation, person in the world is urging Israel to use restraint when other countries are blatantly paying their people to start problems. So if you people that think America is a friend of Israel, a true friend of Israel would say, Israel had every right to do what they did. We stand behind them 100%, and we give them the green light to protect their borders, just like we would protect our own borders. But no, that's not what Hillary Clinton said. It's not what the White House said, what the State Department. America is not a friend of Israel. Why can't you get that? Sensitivity training classes are working. They're not working good enough yet, which is why I'm still taking them. Because things like this really bother me. And what bothers me more is that they don't bother you out there. You people that still live in America, you people that voted for this government. Why doesn't this bother you? That Israel is protecting its own citizens from a country that is paying people to cause problems, and then we're being urged to use restraint. That bothers me, and it should bother you out there. And I'm going to move on before I absolutely flip out on today's show, which I promised myself I wouldn't do. Apparently, Arab ministers of Knesset also participated in Nakba Day demonstrations. These people sit in the governing body of Israel. And one of these was actually on last year's flotilla. And there's now pictures showing her standing next to people with guns. And she came on this flotilla to try and break the Gaza blockade. And guess what's happened to her? Nothing. Not one thing. Not one single solitary thing has happened to this woman who came on a boat with people trying to kill commandos. She still sits in her parliament. Oh my gosh. I need a cupcake. I need to move on before I flip out. The person that killed the Fogel family is now saying, I am proud of what I did and will accept any punishment I receive because I did it all for Palestine. He said after his arraignment at a Samaria military court. This person said he has no qualms whatsoever, no remorse about decapitating a 2 or 3 month old baby. You want to know where this person learned all this? From his own government. The same government that we're negotiating peace with. It's in their textbooks, it's on their TV shows, it's on everything that is in their culture. They can produce a person like this that says, "Nah, I don't care that I decapitated a baby." And we still sit down with the same people that promote this, and we think about giving away land and security in this country. Can anything be more stupid? Alan West, who should be the black president of America instead of the disgrace that the Jews voted in last time, sent a letter to Obama saying, "Wait a minute, Obama, you were so instrumental behind the Lockerbie plane bomber. This person killed 270 people, most of them Americans. The Obama administration was instrumental in getting him released from prison because of health reasons. Jonathan Pollard is a Jew. He did something that actually helped the world. He didn't kill anybody. He's been rotting in jail for 25 years. And Obama's done nothing. No president's done anything. Our great friends in America have let a Jew rot who saved the Western world from Iraq back in the 80s. Anyone say anything wrong with this? America's just the best friend Israel could ever hope and want for. Why does Alan West get this, yet most Jews don't get this? That also bothers me. Alright, apparently there's a little bit of issues. Our little buddies Fatah and Hamas, apparently they're having a little more problems than they expected with their new unity government. There's a big squabble over the establishment of this government, which only bodes well for Israel. When Muslims are fighting with each other, it just shows how absolutely pathetic and disgusting their people are. And it pretty much shows that there's never going to be peace in this region. If they can't even get along, they're killing each other, Sunnis, Shiites, whatever, Sunnis, Alawites, killing each other. What do you think they want to do to the Jews? The only time they unite is in their hatred of us. And even then, they can't unite because Hamas and Fatah are about to break up. They're about to give each other one of those, end of the relationship text messages. So, I can't even sit here and do the news just knowing that my Prime Minister, my Knesset, is thinking of way after way to get these pathetic pieces of garbage back to the negotiating table. Alright, it's time for our happy segment. We have a few happy stories. One is that Israel is launching a solar field in the Negev. I mean, you should see these things. It's just rows and rows and rows of solar fields. I'm not a dork, so I don't know what any of that means, but I just know that it looks cool. I know that we're trying to be the leaders in this industry in the world, which will mean good things for Israel. And I think it's amazing that we're trying to wean ourselves off of pathetic Muslim oil and energy. Something else that's good is we all heard of the Ofer brothers controversy. Apparently their ships were docking in Iran, and that created big problems. I actually did not give them the benefit of the doubt, which I should have, so I'd like to apologize to the Ofer brothers. Apparently these ships were carrying Black Hawk Israeli helicopters, and it was a reconnaissance mission of Iran's nuclear facilities, which is why the ships were docking there in the first place. So I'll be the first to admit that I did not think highly of the Ofer brothers. I want to backtrack on my thoughts. I was not following Torah, so I'd like to apologize to them and let them know that I think what they did is an absolutely amazing thing. And in more good news, which actually is not going to be good news because it's going to give Jews this false sense of security, is that an estimated 30,000 people took part in the annual Celebrate Israel parade in New York City. It's the largest number of participants that the parade has ever had, but I have news for you. Just because you have 30,000 participants, mostly Jewish, at a parade in New York, doesn't mean they're trying to not ban Brit Milah, circumcision, and San Francisco. It doesn't mean that Israel is not going to be, front and center in the 2012 elections, which is going to create a lot of animosity towards the Jewish people. So if you're wondering why I haven't gotten a call from my mom yet, it's because she... Shalom? Emo, you told me you had no cell phone service in New Mexico. You drove 400 miles just to talk to me? She's the best emo ever. Right, hang on. Remember, it's not news unless it's Jews news. I gotta talk to the emo now. Okay.